Hello and welcome back to A Better World. This is your host, Mitchell J. Rabin, and I'm very glad you're joining us again today. Today we're going to have another very fun and actually this time very funny show. Sometimes the shows with me alone are somewhat funny, but today it's going to be somewhat hilarious. And that's because of our guest, Swami Beyondandanda. Now, I want to let you know that we are having a very special event in New York City, October 4th, Friday evening, and Swami Beyondananda will be our guest. We are celebrating A Better World's 26th year on the air. That's right, we've been floating for a long time. And Swami Beyondananda, believe it or not, is going to bring us back to earth. And it's really a pleasure. Swamiji has been a friend, an advocate, a great supporter of A Better World for many years. We've had him in New York before. We met out actually in Boulder, Colorado at a beautiful energy medicine event taking place out there. And I just was enamored of his humor, his wisdom, his charm, and his political satire. And you'll be getting some of that actually today, as well as multiplied many times over at our event. So if you want more information about the event, I would love to have you. So would Swamiji. And that's taking place, as I said, next Friday, October 4th in New York City at 123 4th Avenue near Union Square. And for more information about that and how you can get tickets, go to www.abetterworld.tv, our website, abetterworld.tv, and right smack in front of you, in the middle of it all, is the information about how to get tickets. And we don't have that many seats, so when you hear this, get online and get some tickets and join us. We'll be speaking, as well as Swami will do a wonderful performance, and afterwards he and I will have a dialogue about what we feel are our respective missions and the matters that are, if you will, at play these days on the international scene. So with that, Swamiji, so great to have you back on A Better World.
Well, I'm glad we're all working for the same better world, and that glowing interview you gave for me, I have to say, it's good that I have transcended my ego. And I take great pride in my humility. So I understand all of that, and looking forward to helping you create laughter at a time when the world is in serious condition because of our conditioning to be serious. Seriously.
Yes.
And with all of the gravity pulling us down, we need levity to lift us up. So I'm hoping to raise the laugh force in New York City, and maybe even heal the hole in the boson layer out there.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. You know, there is the so-called happiness quotient in countries like Bhutan.
Oh, yes, yes.
Well,
yes.
I think maybe we ought to accompany that with a laughter quotient, LI, laughter intelligence.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because the happiness thing, this is very funny, because in this country, we are supposed to be pursuing happiness. And you look at some people, you go, they must have run right past it.
They forgot to pursue happiness.
Well, they're pursuing it, but they ran away, and happiness is trying to find them. Happiness is trailing them from behind. I'm back here, I'm back here, I'm back here. So happiness is an inside job. And we don't need to envy other people we think might be happier, which of course Freud called happiness envy. No reason for that.
I would have to agree wholeheartedly.
So gravitational pull, like that.
That's right. It's sideways.
It is sideways. Exactly. It's up. The corners of the mouth go up like that.
That's right, exactly.
And that changes the body chemistry just by doing this. You don't even have to be happy. But because of that muscular change, it sends signals, I think this guy is happy. And then you have the happiness hormones that get circulated.
That's right. HH, happiness hormones. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
The cells don't care if you are truly happy or not. You're happy by saying so. And yes, the corners, defying gravity. going up.
Exactly, exactly. So that's what we're going to do. I know, and people are very concerned these times because there is so much going on the planet, so much crisis, and people are saying, is this the hand of God at work or just the middle finger? That's what they're wondering. So in these times, we have, laughter helps us metabolize all of the residue that we're dealing with.
That's true. Swamiji, I invited you on because I needed a good laugh. And I figured if I need one, the rest of the world does too.
Well, there's two kinds of people in the world, the kind who love to laugh and the kind who need to laugh. And we're inviting all of those kinds of people to come to the event, and I have an unconditional guarantee. First of all, if you come, I promise to love you unconditionally. Number one. Number two, I promise that we will leave you laughing till the sacred cows come home or double your karma back.
So on another note, as we were saying, Swami Beyondandanda, what would you describe as the mission of your humor and your activity? You travel all over, you do performances, people show up behind you and in front of you.
I think somebody just showed up behind me.
Someone's showing up behind you. It's a full-scale performance. What would you say is underlying? I know you stick your nose into so many different wonderful arenas. What would you say is what your driving force?
Well, I would say underlying, I call it under-truthing. There is an under-truthing force underneath everything that I'm doing, and I'm calling it the great upwising. Because in the old days, when people were dissatisfied with how things were, it would be a revolutionary uprising to overthrow the system. Now, in these times of great emergent change, we need an evolutionary upwising to overgrow a dysfunctional, an obsolete and obsolethal, which is not only obsolete but deadly, obsolete and obsolethal situation. We have a situation. And the upwising is to wake up. That's good, you're healing. The upwising is to wake up.
I can feel it. I'm getting better and better.
I know. And so the great upwising is to wake up to the illusion of separation, how we've been divided and conquered, and wise up to the power of love and coherence. And wholehearted, hearty laughter takes us out of the head where beliefs separate us and put us in the heart where we have the unity of love. Laughing, hearty laughter helps us leave the static of the head for the ecstatic of the heart. Oh. And the more we expand our hearts, the less we will need to shrink our heads.
Too many heads are shrunken that are leading our body politic right now.
Well, I think it's the shrunken hearts. It's the shrunken hearts. And I think that we need to have plenty of laughter to shine a light on the dark of heartlessness. Because we have been ruled for the past 5,000 years by the lowest common denominator. And they have overridden the golden rule with the rule of gold, which is do unto others before they can do unto you. And as I said, this has left a lot of residue. And so our mission of healing, as your mission with a better world, is can we undo the doo-doo that has been done? Or will the done doo-doo be our undoing?
I never put it that way, but you really hit the nail on the head, so to speak.
Well, we have plenty of, we need to get to the heart of the matter before we hit any more nails on any more heads.
That's right, exactly. Go right for the heart. That's wonderful. Well, I love that, Swamiji, because we know that we are facing a lot of doo-doo, and we need to do something about that very quickly. We're dealing with such serious issues as global warming, referred to usually as accelerated climate change. And in fact, just this week in New York has been a major outpouring of interest and excitement on many levels. Greta Thunberg was here, the 16-year-old who is leading the world into a greater level of consciousness, God bless her, and waking up.
A child will lead the way.
A child will lead the way, exactly. And in fact, the children's group that she is part of sued the rights to the child, agency or whatever it is. Yesterday, there was a big thing at the United Nations, and a lot of very good things are in motion. People who never even knew how to pronounce the phrase climate change are being found in different corners of the UN doing so. They're practicing their enunciation. So it's a good thing. People who have been in denial are coming out of denial, getting dry, and getting back to work. So
well, we are getting over those two drugs that we have suffered from in this body politic, deniatol and hopium. Those are two drugs that will not get us anywhere. What we really need is political climate change and global heartwarming. And if we have that, we can handle any weather situation. We can weather any storm together.
Exactly. Whether or not.
Weather together, like the song.
Yes.
Whether times are good or bad or happy or sad, together we can weather this. This is what the great uprising is.
Exactly.
That we're all cells in the same body called humanity, and much of what we have been doing is autoimmune disease. So as we wake up and wise up, we also grow up and show up. We wake up to the illusion of separation, wise up to the power of love, grow up as we grow upward in consciousness to be all that we can be without necessarily joining the army. And we show up for the greatest reality show ever, reality.
It's not really a show, but we can have fun with it anyway.
We need to show up for the show. That's all.
It's our duty to.
Oh, it's our duty.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Well, let's let everyone know again that coming up this Friday, well, not this Friday, but the following, October 4th, downtown near Union Square in the Big Apple, we are celebrating Swami Beyondandanda and I and all of our friends, and God knows we have many, and it'll be a really fun evening, celebrating A Better World Radio and TV's 26th year. I tell people, Swami, that I began when I was about 12. So 26, that's about it.
You're still a year younger than Jack Benny, so you're upset.
You're stealing my lines.
I'm
wisening up to Jack Benny's level, which will be, I guess, next year at this rate. But we're going to have a very special evening. We are celebrating. We're going to have a fundraiser, as Swamiji always says, as well as, of course, a fundraiser to help keep A Better World on the air and not only striving and sustaining, but thriving and reaching more and more people as I do the interviews with the sung and the unsung heroes of our society, people who are moving right along, making things happen behind the scenes, and sometimes in front of the scenes. We don't discriminate. So we'd love to have you part of it. Go to our website, abetterworld.tv, and there you will see right in front of your eyes, Swami Beyondananda. And right there you can click and get some tickets. We don't have a whole lot of room, so do please sign up soon and come along. There are also opportunities to make donations, contributions, investments in A Better World, also separate and apart from your coming, because we know that this broadcast is reaching people far and wide, so different parts of the country and world, and you're all invited. We're going to be live streaming it as well, so please participate in one way or another. Now, it's my understanding that behind the wonderful and great Swami Beyondananda is his Clark Kent friend, just behind him.
Okay. Well,
there he is now.
I can disappear. So I will say to you, namaste and namasko. Goodbye.
Goodbye. But stay tuned, folks, because this is temporary.
Oh,
Wow,
look at
I
that.
know you.
I've never actually seen that guy perform, but I understand that people like him.
I have.
Uh-huh.
Take my word. Take my void. He's good. He's good. You want to see him?
Very good. Well, I'm happy that we're going to be doing something as well at
Yes.
this event. Not to call it serious, but it really is taking the networks and ideas that we've created and taking all of these good intentions and putting them under one big intent, which is thrival for all. I like Bucky Fuller's world game concept as a way of organizing that we're looking to use our resources most resourcefully and use our intelligence intelligently.
God knows. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You have written books on erectile dysfunction. You wrote a book with our mutually dear friend, Bruce Lipton, cellular biologist, spontaneous evolution. You have been following the track, like any good Jew from Brooklyn, of the political quality and nature of what's going on, governance, basically, in our country, in the White House, and on our planet. And I know you have a lot of very useful and pragmatic things to say about it, not to mention occasionally ideological. But where you always come from, Steve, is a place that I always appreciate, which is from the heart, informing the mind. Everyone is in this together. We're all in the same pool together. I love Reverend Jesse Jackson's phrase, which said, we may have all taken different boats here, but we're all in the same boat now. And isn't that the truth? So I'd love to hear a little update on what your thoughts are these days as you look at the world panorama, the world scene.
Well, you may or may not know that my background is political science. Although
that's an oxymoron for
you.
you.
No, I never got quite so far in the field to actually dissect a politician. Never got quite that way. But my first job was teaching high school in Washington, D.C. It was a very interesting time. I've always been very, very interested in politics. And then having had the experience of performing the Swami, being exposed to, deeper political ideas. And so my position is that we've essentially been divided and conquered. The Swami says, we have a deeply divided body politic in this country. Half the people believe our system is broken and the other half believe it is fixed. And that's exactly where we are. So there is a great—
half fixed, half broken.
Yeah, there's a great agreement that the system isn't working, and we've been conveniently divided into these political tribes. And the media and the two political parties do what they can to make sure that that we don't connect and have a conversation for mutual benefit out of mutual respect and so on.
Right.
And so my work right now, I'm calling it the Great Uprising, and Swami says it in a funny way, but basically the Great Uprising is recognizing the evolution of revolution, that we've gone from revolutions being about one man, usually a man, like in George Washington, et cetera, to a more evolved view, like Martin Luther King and Gandhi and the Dalai Lama, who've had a broader view of who we are as human beings.
Yes.
Now the next evolution of revolution is recognizing that we are the leaders we've been waiting for. So one of the projects I'm most excited about is something called the National Town Square, which would be an independent institution of society where every citizen would have a verifiable voice and vote, an advisory vote, so that we can actually get the pulse of the people instantly, verifiable. No bots, no advertising, no influence, no media, no government, no corporations, an independent institution where we, the people of this country, can begin to speak in one coherent voice together. And from that coherent voice, we end up really being able to solve problems and address them at a different level than the problems were created. So that's really
Brilliant.
where I'm coming from. And the Great Uprising is recognizing that we are all in this together, and that we need to evolve, as Bruce Lipton and I came up with in Spontaneous Evolution, from seeing ourselves as individual cells to seeing ourselves as cells in the body of a larger organism called humanity. And that is how we will survive. And Bruce, I just talked to him a few weeks ago. Bruce's frame is conscious evolution, alternative to mass extinction. And I think that says it pretty bluntly.
I would say so, exactly. Yeah. Last time he was on, we were looking at both the sixth epoch of evolutionary development.
Yeah.
And we were looking at the sixth extinction. So half fixed, half broken, you know.
Well, the Swami will tell you that he is what does he call it? He's an optimist. What is the word? I'm lost. I'm at a loss for words here. I don't know. I mean, the words are around. You only pluck them. He's cautiously optimistic. He doesn't believe, and instead of believing that the glass is 95% empty, he believes the glass is 5% full.
It's not looking good, but it depends on what lens you look through.
Yeah.
You know, my conversation about hope, Steve, is more about the power of hope than thinking that we're going to necessarily break through in some kind of true way in consciousness. Although I hope that happens, I'm not staked out on that. But just as you were saying about the smile creating a healthy response cellularly, so does hope. Hope gives us that extra verve and vitality we actually need to go from day to day. So it's a very good thing. And that doesn't mean that we believe that optimistically we're all going to get out of this thing alive. We should actually know by now we're not going to. However, the question is always when. And we'd like to extend that, of course, why we have longevity practices like you and I both enjoy of Qigong, and in my case also Tai Chi Chuan, and having certain kinds of dietary and sleep and fun things during the day in order to keep us going.
Has made a breakthrough in that regard. Swami
I know.
has an actual program that will enable you to live to be 150. And it's really perfectly. You postpone your midlife crisis till you're 75. How could that not work?
You know, we didn't talk about this, but I am a card-carrying member of the Immortality Club. But to get in it, you have to.
People are dying to get into that club.
Well, they are. They're actually living to get into it, and they have to live our prerequisite. You can't really join until you're 150. So it creates a wonderful aspiration for a lot of people, if not inspiration. So, are you interested?
Oh, very much, very much. So.
It's free.
That's free.
It won't cost you a penny. It'll cost you a lot of time, but no money.
Well, you've got I've got another 80-something years to go.
There you go. There you go. It's nothing. Well, I love what you're doing, as you so well know. I am so honored that you will be in New York City, where you rarely show up these days, man. And we're so glad to have you back, and you are helping to support a better world as well in our 26th year. I couldn't count very well, otherwise we would have done this in my 25th. But instead, actually, I was so busy supporting other people's anniversaries and activities that I sort of overlooked our own. But now, and with your generous help, we will be making people laugh and sing and cry a little bit and smile. And as you said, you have an unconditional guarantee that I think is just right on. So.
And by the way, you have another anniversary coming up, and not that long from now, and this is a very significant one. Mm-hmm. My wife Trudy and I just celebrated our vinyl wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah.
33 and a third. 33 and a third years, we are now officially long playing.
That's wonderful. Bless you and Trudy. You have both been doing so much good in the world, and we here at A Better World need people like you, the sung and the unsung heroes, you know? So we have many important things to talk about, from climate change to social, economic, political, racial injustice. I don't even believe in that last one, but I do believe that everyone needs to be treated properly in the eyes of each other as well as the law. And I think that when we focus on the fact that our habitat is disappearing right under our feet, people will start to get along better and better with each other and recognize that we are truly one. The way all of the great teachings and wisdom traditions have been saying to us, and we've been a little slow at getting it. But in fact, I think there will be a new level of teamwork that is evolving. I'm experiencing it, and it's beautiful to see. Your comments
In all
before we
domains,
conclude.
the Swami says that because people are concerned about the economy, if we lose the planet, there goes the GDP. So that gives us something to work for. And again,
Yes.
it's really important that we re-hearten ourselves through humor. We can't be of use to anybody else unless we manage to keep our nose above the line and our eye on the prize. And what you were saying earlier about whether you're going to make it, not make it, there's only one game in town, and that's the world game. And that beats the heck out of the end of the world game. So come enjoy some laughter and get rehardened, and we'll leave you not just laughing, but smiling.
I love it. That's beautiful. Steve, Behrman, and Swamiji, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
and we'll see you
appreciate
on
it.
the fun way. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Okay.
See you soon. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I am a really easy touch for Steve's humor and Swamiji's. And so I'm like an excellent audience. And I will be also Friday night, October 4th, along with all of you who come and join us. It would be a true honor and pleasure for me to have you all who have known the work of an activity of A Better World for all of these years, or even some of these years, to come and celebrate with us here in New York City, just around the corner from Union Square at 123 4th Avenue. Boy, I don't know how they came up with that one, but it's really quite elegant.
I love it. I think that's
Is that awesome? Really? Yeah. I'm starting to feel like a mathematician every time I say it, and a poet. And we'd love to have you go to www.abetterworld.tv and just click, get tickets early. And they're also a little more expensive at the door, so better take advantage and be economically wise as well. And I want to just thank you all for listening. If you do not yet get our free newsletter, make sure you get signed up for that too. It's on the very same website. And walk around the archives, take a look and a peek at what we've got going, from interviews with environmental scientists, with healers of all sizes and stripes, with politicians, with Marianne Williamson, with people who are looking to preserve and protect our precious salt water and fresh water across the planet, people who are doing amazing things to provide solutionaries, as we call them, to heal the world of its many, many different ailments. And by the way, it's working. So on that note, I want to just thank you all for joining us again today. Become part of A Better World family and community by going to abetterworld.tv and signing up for our newsletter. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.